Welcome everyone to the sunny skies of Spielberg. We're here at the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix in 2022. We had a great sprint yesterday, and it was a great sunny day. And it's a sunny day again today. It's 22 degrees in Spielberg. So let's go down and have a look at the track. It's a 4.3 kilometer circuit with 10 turns and 3 DRS zones. You got some elevation changes up towards that tricky right-hander of turn 3, and then that big dip down from turn 9 and 10 back onto the main straight. So I'm going to hand it over to Jack Marshall for the grid.
Thank you, Sam. We had an amazing sprint race yesterday with Charles Leclerc starting on pole, and he managed to go the entire race in the lead, taking pole position for the race alongside his teammate who managed to stick with him, Carlos Sainz. Ferrari were doing great yesterday in the sprint race. In P3 we have Perez, who also did quite well, even though he didn't manage to get ahead, with Russell, Hamilton behind him, Verstappen P6. P7, best of the rest, we have Norris once again with Ocon, Ricciardo and Kevin King stunning us with a P10 performance in the sprint race. Alonso, Gasly in P13, Vettel and Mick Schumacher, the two Germans, switching places from quali. Magnussen, Bottas, P6, 15 and 16, Zhou Guanyu, Yuki Tsunoda, followed by Stroll and Alex Albon.
Yeah, I just want to say, great performance for Ferrari. It looks like they're coming back, honestly. You know, they had a bit of a dip in performance where Red Bull managed to, get ahead of them and build a bit of a lead in the championship, but it looks like they're coming back.
Yes, they certainly are. I mean, they had some reliability issues, but I feel like those are kind of fixed. I feel like they haven't really been having those kind of wear issues that we've been seeing.
Yeah, so they've obviously found the problem, they've tackled it, and they're now back on the pace, back ready to fight Red Bull and ready to take their drivers to the World Championship.
Oh, certainly. And I mean, behind him, Perez will definitely be wanting to overtake the two Ferraris. Perez is starting on the softs, where the two Ferraris are starting on the mediums.
Yeah, the two Ferraris, Russell, Hamilton, Alonso and Magnussen all starting on the mediums. And everyone else starting on the softs. Both Red Bulls starting on softs, so we'll see what they can do. We'll see if Verstappen wants to jump the two Mercedes, or if he just wants to take his time and just wait a couple laps until his softs wear in, and then he'll try and blast past them and see what he can do.
Yes, I mean, in the sprint race, both Red Bulls managed to overtake another driver in the first lap. I feel like they'll be wanting to do that right again in the actual race to get a good position, so they can think about that strategy and dictate what kind of times they're going to pit.
Yeah, I think Red Bull and Perez in particular are gonna just want to try and just jump Charles Leclerc and jump Carlos Sainz and just hold on to that lead early. And Perez, either trying to go for the maximum, or just trying to keep them behind so Max can catch up. But we are here for the 5 red lights for the Austrian Grand Prix in 2022. It's lights out and away we go. Charles Leclerc getting a good start. Carlos Sainz coming over to cover him, and Sergio Perez just behind him, and George Russell and Lewis Hamilton have swapped places as Charles Leclerc stays in the lead, and Sergio Perez trying to go around the outside of Carlos Sainz, and does so, and they're going down the inside into turn 3. Sergio Perez makes the dive on Charles Leclerc, doesn't quite make the move stick, but he's alongside Charles Leclerc, but he's managed to keep the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix for now.
That is great by Sergio Perez. He's trying again here, but I don't think he can quite make it. He did an ambitious dive on Carlos Sainz. I think it was a bit too ambitious on Leclerc, but still a great move by Perez. Lando Norris taking the position of P6 from Max Verstappen in the first few corners. Lando Norris got a great start, but wasn't able to get Max Verstappen in the first corner. I mean, in the third corner, he did great to get past the Dutch driver.
Yeah, that's great stuff from Lando Norris and great stuff from Kevin King. I thought he was in the points in the sprint, because I forgot that you don't get full points for the sprint, but he is definitely in the points now in P8, jumping Ocon and Ricciardo to get 2 positions up.
Certainly, and here we see Lando Norris and George Russell squabbling a bit. Lando Norris going on the inside, but George Russell got a better exit. Here comes Lando Norris. He is pulling side by side, going through turn 2, going into turn 3. Lando Norris on the inside. He'll be wanting to try and get that position. He brakes a bit later, but George Russell is going on the outside. Lando Norris gets a better exit That is great by Lando Norris, but I have to stick ahead, and it seems like he's made that move stick.
Yeah, on the new soft tyres, I think Lando Norris has got the pace advantage on George Russell, and he's just going to stick it to the inside line and just defend from the Brit, defending from the Brit. And we're now focusing on Kevin King and Daniel Ricciardo having a bit of a squabble, and Daniel Ricciardo getting past Kevin King, and he's going to try and fight back, but I think Daniel Ricciardo's, I think he's got ahead of him there. Oh no, King's got him back. Kevin King back up into PA.
It's absolutely close. Here we see Max Verstappen jumping George Russell just after George Russell was jumped by Lando Norris. That is not good for George Russell, but here we go back. Verstappen losing out. Kevin King taking advantage. So does Daniel Ricciardo. Kevin King's going on George Russell, but so are so many other drivers. It's so close. Here we see Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen, the former teammates, squabbling. Max Verstappen gets slightly ahead, aided by the toe by George Russell. He is then going side by side. He now has DRS going on the inside. I feel like that's great from Max Verstappen. He is just pulling ahead of George Russell.
Yeah, great stuff from Max Verstappen. Great stuff from Kevin King. Up into P6 in the Williams. Great stuff from Kevin King. But I fear that Max Verstappen and that fearsome Red Bull is going to try and go down the outside. And long before they even get to the corner, Max Verstappen is ahead of Kevin King.
I mean, I don't think Kevin King had much of a chance there. No, Williams compared to the power that is Red Bull this season. Max Verstappen pulling ahead. Kevin King now under threat of George Russell behind him. It will just be a question of whether he can keep George Russell behind or whether his race even involves George Russell.
Yeah, and now I think Kevin King's just going to want to try and salvage whatever points he can, because any points at all would be great for Williams. They've got 3 points so far this season, and 2, 4, 6. I have to do the math in my head. 6 more points for them would be great stuff for Williams. It would take them right up there, right next to Alfa Romeo, which would be great for their fight in P7 in the Constructors' Championship.
It certainly would. Here we are seeing the podium fight between Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez, and Carlos Sainz. Perez in P2. We are following him now. He is half a second behind Leclerc and half a second ahead of Carlos Sainz, Leclerc's teammate. And it'll just battle of DRS to see who can get ahead, to see who can take advantage of this. I'll be wondering whether they'll be trying to save their tyres to go long. What do you think on the strategy?
I think Ferrari's going to try and go medium soft. I feel like that would be a good strategy for them. But I think Perez is going to try and manage a bit more and try and bring the softer compounds just that little bit longer, so he can stretch out a soft stint, and so he can have more pace on the mediums when the pit stops do happen.
Yes, no, I agree. I feel like the Ferraris have the dominance here. They can choose when they want to pit. If they want to pit with someone early to try the undercut and the other to try the overcut, they can do that. Sergio Perez is isolated. His teammate down in P6. Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, the two Brits between him and that fight. It's really up to Sergio Perez now to carry it for Red Bull.
Yeah, Max Verstappen a good 6 seconds behind Sergio Perez, but I think Perez is just gonna, once he tries to get ahead of Charles Leclerc, I think he's just gonna try and keep him pushed back, try and get Max Verstappen to catch back up, so I can get maximum points for Red Bull.
Certainly, and here there is a fight between Daniel Ricciardo and George Russell for P9 and P10, but we're following Perez. The race so far, Leclerc has kept pole position, with Perez taking Carlos Sainz's position of P2, with Carlos Sainz dropping to P3. I mean, this is just a thrilling race so far. It could go any way.
Yeah, I think I don't know what's happened to George Russell. Maybe he's got damage. Maybe he's got damage to his floor or something like that. Because I'm not seeing anything wrong with his front wing or anything like that. So it could be tire wear. It could be like floor damage or something like that. But that far off the pace of his teammate when he's been right up there with him all season long.
Yeah, he might have lost an end plate somewhere. Maybe in the fight with Max Verstappen, Kevin King, and Ricciardo. That was an absolutely intense fight, and maybe like he got some contact somewhere. Here we are now following Esteban Ocon, who's 3/10 behind Kevin King. Kevin King doesn't have DRS on Max Verstappen in front of him, and now a sort of DRS train has formed behind Kevin King, and that will be to the detriment of him. Here we see Esteban Ocon going down the inside of Kevin King. Kevin King managed to get better traction in the corner, going the outside. Esteban Ocon is on the inside. We then go into the next turn with Kevin King on the inside, and I think he managed to stick ahead, but no, Esteban Ocon going around him. Oh, this is really close, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah, Kevin King dipping his dipping his toes on the grass a little bit there, but I think, yeah, he's got just back ahead of Esteban Ocon. Great stuff from the rookie driver there. But yeah, I think when they went into turn six, I think it is. Yeah, I think he going down the inside, he just got his wheels just on the grass a little bit, and I think he's now getting a. Yeah, he's now getting a bit swarmed, and there's a bit of contact between Ocon and Ricciardo there. And I think Ocon may have broken his end plate, or it might have just been them banging tyres. But yeah, that's not great for Ocon, who's now getting swarmed by Gasly, Russell, and Fernando Alonso.
Yes, I mean, here we see Ocon going down the inside of Pierre Gasly, trying to come up with that place, but he does definitely have damage, so it'll be very tricky for him. Here we see Daniel Ricciardo looking down the inside of Kevin King. Can he pull a move? It's really brave from Daniel Ricciardo. Kevin King going a bit wide, touching that gravel, and that gives him a terrible exit going into the next few corners. Kevin King trying to go around the outside, though I think that is fraud, but no, he manages to stick it around. That is an amazing move. He must be absolutely pushing that Williams car to the absolute limit.
Yeah, it's giving me like George Russell from in the past couple years vibes, when he just absolutely wrings the neck out of the car. And yeah, I think he's coming into pit now, I think. But yeah, that's great stuff from Kevin King.
Yes, most drivers are now pitting in the midfield. None of the top three drivers have pitted, but Carlos Sainz and Perez are fighting now. Perez on the outside, Carlos Sainz trying to go down the inside now, and are side by side going into turn 4. Who will pull through? Carlos Sainz braking a bit later than Perez, but Perez does have the better traction of the outside. Carlos Sainz pulling ahead, but they're going to the next corner, and Sergio Perez is on the inside. Will they pull ahead? It is up. It's neck and neck, but Perez gets the better exit, going in and gets ahead, stays ahead of Carlos Sainz.
Yeah, great scrap between the between the man from Spain and the man from Mexico. That's great stuff between them. And Carlos Sainz just trying to keep it side by side, even with Perez going into the pits there. And I think that's the rest of everyone, rest of the soft tyre runners going into the pits now.
Yes, it definitely is. And I mean, that was a intense battle. It is sad that ended in nothing with Perez pitting, it seems. But yeah, Perez, Tsunoda, Norris, Zhou, Vettel, and Albon all pitting. They are pitting for the medium tyres.
Yeah, I think that's great stuff from all these drivers so far. And we're now focusing on Kevin King having a bit of a scrap with Daniel Ricciardo. And so there's 3 of them going 3 wide into turn 1. Fernando Alonso, Daniel Ricciardo, and Pierre Gasly going into turn 1. And Daniel Ricciardo gets the best out of the bunch and keeps that P11. But no, Ocon coming back at him into turn 3 and gets into P10, into the points. And that's great stuff from Ocon there.
Yes, that is amazing from Esteban Ocon, taking P10, getting those on the edge of the points. They are all fighting for that crucial points position. It is now P9 and P10 are available for all of them. They are so close to it, they can almost sense it. Kevin King in the lead of this DRS train with Esteban Ocon behind Daniel Ricciardo, Pierre Gasly, Bottas and Schumacher. Vettel all the way down to Kevin Magnussen in P19. This is an absolutely thrilling battle with them all so close to each other. Here we see Daniel Ricciardo snuck behind Esteban Ocon, getting that slipstream, but he's not close enough. He's going onto the DRS range. He will get DRS. Will he manage to overtake Esteban Ocon to take that position back? Which way will he go? Looks like he's going down the inside, but Esteban Ocon's trying to block it off. Daniel Ricciardo goes on the inside, but he gets... Oh, that's contact from the 2 drivers. That is amazing that both of them has managed to stick. I don't think either of them got a puncture, but both of them have DRS, so it'll be up to Daniel Ricciardo to get, again, he is not going to make a move down turn 3.
Yeah, it didn't look like Daniel Ricciardo got any damage there, but that was a bit of a risky move from Daniel Ricciardo there. I'm surprised he would have tried to pull that off because, you know, he was quite a bit far back, but Ocon just really slammed the door on him there.
Yes, I feel like Daniel Ricciardo hit that bump and lost all traction for that turn and just hit Ocon. I feel like that's a racing incident, and I feel like the FAA will agree with me on that.
Yeah, I think that's yeah, it was an incident, but yeah, I think it's just a racing incident. As we see Max Verstappen put in the fastest lap of the race, a 106.648. It was previously held by Charles Leclerc, but yeah, now Max Verstappen holds that fastest lap, which shows he's the fastest man on track. It shows he's going to try and catch back up to his teammate and to the Ferraris there.
Yes, I mean, I believe Verstappen has pitted with Leclerc, Hamilton, Alonso now pitting to the hards. That's an interesting strategy for them. Maybe they think the hards are the better tyre in this situation. They can push longer and harder on them. But it is really interesting. Carlos Sainz still has not pitted in the lead. That is why Carlos Sainz is now ahead of Charles Leclerc. 15 seconds is the difference between the two. Here we see Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon, the two French drivers, having a bit of scrap. Both of them have DRS down the straight. Gasly on the inside pulling a bit ahead, but Ocon is on the inside of Gasly. Going to the corner, they are really close to each other, and it is super tight through there. Here we have them trying to lift off, slowly putting the pressure on the throttle, and they go through the next corner, which is a high-speed corner. Esteban Ocon pulling ahead. That is amazing from the French driver, defeating that other French driver.
Yeah, great stuff from Ocon and Gasly there, and that's I see we now Sergio Perez being overtaken by Lewis Hamilton, and Carlos Sainz has now pitted, and he's now about 4 seconds behind Charles Leclerc, who's still leading this race. But yeah, we're seeing a great scrap between Sergio Perez and Lewis Hamilton, and they've both got DRS on Carlos Sainz. They're going to try and catch back up to him, but I think they're a bit too far back to make a move yet.
Yes, I mean, they are definitely squabbling with each other. I feel like Lewis Hamilton wasn't able to get ahead, though, because Carlos Sainz was there, which gave Sergio Perez a bit of wiggle room to go around the outside, but Sergio Perez is now 4 tenths ahead. We'll have to look at that again once they go onto the DRS straight that's coming up in a few corners' time. Here we are going to Alonso, who's fighting with Kevin King. Kevin King overtaking Alonso, taking that 8th position he held earlier in the race. Alonso down to 9th. The Alpine is not doing well compared to that Williams of Kevin King. It is doing amazing. Esteban Ocon behind Alex Albon, as we can see in P18 and 19. Fernando Alonso will, again, like the Ferraris, be wanting to fight with that DRS to get close enough, to get closer to the Williams in front of them.
Yeah, this is incredible stuff from Kevin King and the much slower Williams. And I think Fernando Alonso going to try go down the inside, and Kevin King just defending the outside, just keeping within track limits, and just keeping the Spaniard Fernando Alonso, 2-time world champion, behind them.
Certainly, and here we are. Daniel Ricciardo's trying to overtake. Here we go, about to go 3 wide into turn 3. This is absolutely amazing. I feel like Daniel Ricciardo did not get well out of that. The now fight is between Fernando Alonso and Kevin King. Who will go? We're now going to turn 4 once again. I feel like this is a broken record here. All happens in turn 4, it seems, with Fernando Alonso not being able to get ahead of Kevin King.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of contact between all 3 drivers going into turn 3. Lots of banging wheels, and I think it's lucky that none of them got damaged. But yeah, great stuff from Kevin King, great stuff from Fernando Alonso, great stuff from Daniel Ricciardo. And yeah, I keep harping on about it. Kevin King P8, great stuff.
Yes, I mean, we keep saying it, but Kevin King is doing great in this Williams. It is absolutely amazing compared to his teammate Alex Albon, who is a veteran driver, once drove for Red Bull and now in Williams. I mean, he is P8 with his teammate P18, 10 places behind.
Yeah, I do think Albon had a bit of bad luck in the sprint race with his front brake just completely dissipating into thin air. But yeah, still incredible stuff from Kevin King. It might be a bit early to talk about, but I think he might be Rookie of the Year. I think that'll be my contendant for Rookie of the Year, as we see Fernando Alonso going down the inside of Kevin King, but not quite making the move stick. And Kevin King just keeping in P8.
Yes, we have the one of the rookies of the season fighting the man who is probably the least rookie out of all the grid. Fernando Alonso's right behind Kevin King, getting closer and closer every corner. He is thinking, do I make a move? Do I not? It is experience at play. We have only 4 laps left in this Austrian Grand Prix of the Red Bull Ring, Spielberg. Here we are. Yeah,
great stuff. Great stuff from all of these drivers. And Yeah, and Fernando Alonso going down the inside of Kevin King. He's going to try and make the move stick. They're side by side, coming out of the turn, but Kevin King just keeping ahead as well, and just trying to keep that gap to keep that gap to Fernando Alonso and try and push him back into Daniel Ricciardo, who's just about 2 tenths behind him now. But yeah, great stuff from Kevin King.
Absolutely amazing stuff from Kevin King. I mean, getting that's 4 points for 8th place. That'll over double the Williams points for this season. I mean, Williams be loving that kind of result.
Yeah, and that'll put them ahead of or just about ahead of Alfa Romeo now. I think it'll put them at 9 points, which is great stuff for Williams.
It'll put them at 7 points. 3 plus 4 is 7. Obviously, Sam, and here we see Kevin King following the final few corners.
Almost 6 points.
Oh, that is no problem. Here we see Daniel Ricciardo and Fernando Alonso fighting going into the first corner. Daniel Ricciardo on the outside. Fernando Alonso locks up and there's contact between the two drivers. Daniel Ricciardo gets better traction coming out with those mediums. He's getting ahead. I wonder who contacted who there.
Yeah, and we're now seeing Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. Max Verstappen not really having the greatest of races right now. Down in P5 in the in a track which, you know, being called the Red Bull Ring, but it seems to be being dominated by Ferrari at the moment. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 3. That's a collision between Perez and Lewis Hamilton. And that's Perez retiring. Oh, Perez retiring from the race.
That is... Why is he retiring? That is an amazing... Like, Perez are doing so well.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate between Perez, and that's pretty unfortunate between Ricciardo and Alonso. I think he was just expecting Alonso to just be able to turn a bit, but yeah, Alonso just got cut over a bit. That's
yes. Here we're seeing the collision. Oh, Perez was having smoke, and that is why Hamilton crashed in the rear of him. He was going super slow down the last corner. I mean, Lewis Hamilton be having front wing damage, obviously, so he'll probably have to pit in the last few laps. Here we're seeing Sebastian Vettel and Valtteri Bottas. Sebastian Vettel going into turn 3 on the outside, but Bottas outbrakes him going in, and I don't think Vettel will be able to recover from that, though he will get DRS, so will Bottas. Going down this straight.
Yeah, that's great stuff from Sebastian Vettel, and he's going to try and go down the outside. Here goes Sebastian Vettel, but he doesn't quite make the move stick, and that's still great stuff from Sebastian Vettel. Great stuff from Valtteri Bottas, and great stuff from Mick Schumacher now in the points. And Sebastian Vettel still on their tail. This is the scrap for the last couple of points in this race. But yeah, this is great stuff, and great to see that Sebastian Vettel that we once knew.
Yes, this is absolutely amazing. And Valtteri Bottas trying to make the move on Mick Schumacher. They are fighting for those places. It is absolutely amazing from them. There are so many teams fighting for this. Haas, Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin, and Alpha Tauri all fighting. Here we see Sebastian Vettel and Valtteri Bottas squabbling once again, so I did not see that. It's too focused on my own talking. Here we see they both have DRS going into turn 3. Sebastian Vettel on the inside of Valtteri Bottas. Who will get best out of this? Valtteri Bottas probably get a bit of traction on the outside, but here's Sebastian Vettel is going a bit ahead. It is neck and neck going into turn 4.
Yeah, so great stuff from Valtteri Bottas, but here goes Sebastian Vettel again down the inside of Valtteri Bottas. This is a great scrap from the from the two drivers, and I think we missed it, but that Charles Leclerc has just won the Austrian Grand Prix. I think we missed it. We were too focused on that final battle for P10, that last points position. Great stuff from Charles Leclerc.
And P1!
Yes, sir! Yes! Oh, yes! Come on! Oh my God! I was scared. I was really scared. Yes!
Amazing job. No words.
I think Leclerc's happy about that one, but
I think he certainly is. That is an amazing showing from Ferrari right there. P1, P2, they could not have hoped for better.
Yeah, and especially at the Red Bull ring, Ferrari dominating, showing Red Bull who they want to see as boss. But yeah, great stuff from Charles Leclerc there. Winning the race, leading pretty much every single lap of this race. And I think there was a Ferrari leading every single lap of this race. It was either Leclerc or it was Sainz. Yeah, that's great stuff from Charles Leclerc and from Ferrari today. Yeah, incredible stuff from them, and you can see he's incredibly happy. He's being really happy to be back on the top step of the podium. He's had previous podiums. He's had what, 4 or 5 in a row, I think. But
Yes.
that's great stuff from Charles Leclerc.
Absolutely amazing, and this will push Leclerc up in the championship and Ferrari up in the championship. They were not close to Red Bull, but now that may change with Perez's retirement and Verstappen being a bit down the order for what he usually is. Oh wait, actually never mind, here's P3. Never mind, okay. Charles Leclerc, P1, Carlos Sainz, P2, Max Verstappen, P3. That is the podium. Lando Norris, amazing showing, P4 in the McLaren. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton, the 2 Mercedes, P5 and P6. Kevin King, Fernando Alonso, and then the 2 Germans, Mick Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel behind them. That is amazing for Ferrari. We can't say it anymore. They were not looking good this season, but now they're looking like the Golden Boys.
Yeah, they've really turned things around, and even though we say they're the Golden Boys, Max Verstappen still leads the Drivers' Championship, but only that lead is dwindling more and more. Charles Leclerc just coming down to about 17 points behind him now, but it's 18 points, I think. But yeah, that's great stuff from Charles Leclerc, and the gap between Red Bull and Ferrari is now shrinking as well, as we're going to see I think a bit of a title fight going on later in this season. But if you enjoyed this, guys, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell